Don brought down in the poskim regarding someone who turns bar mitzvah during the Sfirat Omer. What is his status regarding the counting? So, obviously, we're talking about a child who was counting throughout the whole Sfirat Omer, and then he becomes bar mitzvah. The question is he able to continue to count with a bracha, or does he need to stop? So the svara of the opinions, like the Rav Yona holds that he can continue to count, is because there's no chisaron in timimut. He was counting until now. He counted all the days. He counted when he was a katan, and he's continuing to count when he's an adult, and therefore there's no chisaron of timimut. There is a timimut. There is a continuity that's happening throughout the entire period of the Sfirat Omer, and therefore he holds, and among others, that a child that turns bar mitzvah during the Omer is no different than anybody else, and he can continue counting with a bracha after he becomes bar mitzvah. However, Rav Yona argues against those opinions. He says that it's different. Why? Let's think about it for a second. The chiyuv that he had whenever he was a child is maybe mitam chinuch. We mechanech the child. We teach the child that he has to keep mitzvot, and therefore we tell the child to count Sfirat Omer. As soon as he turns bar mitzvah, the chiyuv changes. The chiyuv is now an obligation that's now a totally different level, and therefore the way he was counting yesterday before his bar mitzvah and the way he's counting today when he turns bar mitzvah is a different level, and therefore according to the opinion that holds that it's one big mitzvah, you are lacking timimut by whenever the bar mitzvah boy turns bar mitzvah and his chiyuv gets elevated on another level, and therefore he cannot continue counting with a bracha. That's the opinion of Rav Yona. Now, even though a person can argue and say that the mitzvah of Sfirat Omer is midirabanan, right? But the dirabanan of a katan is a lower level dirabanan of an adult at the end of the day, and therefore that's why Rav Yona holds that in this scenario, if the child turns bar mitzvah during the Sfirat Omer, he should continue counting, but without a bracha after he turns bar mitzvah. So that's one interesting scenario. Another interesting scenario that the poskim discuss is if a person knows in the beginning that he's going to have to go through a certain surgery during Sfirat Omer, and that surgery is going to knock him out, and he's going to miss the entire 24-hour period. He's not going to be able to count that night or the next day. He's not going to wake up until later. Should he begin to count with a bracha? Because he knows that he's not going to be able to complete it. I know already from the beginning I'm not able to complete it. So the poskim say that over there it's permitted. It's still going to be permitted because first of all, maybe the halacha is every day. Maybe the halacha is like the opinions that hold that every day is mitzvah b'fnei atzmo, and so it's not going to be a bracha levatala. And maybe mitzad the mitziut, the surgery will be pushed off, and he will be able to count, continue to count Sfirat Omer, and therefore he doesn't have to not count from the beginning. He can count from the beginning, and if the surgery comes that he misses the 24-hour period and he's under anesthesia, whatever the situation is, and he misses it, it's not a problem to not start to begin with. He can start, and if that scenario happens, then he won't continue with a bracha, but he can begin to count with a bracha in the beginning until that point.